Good day, Kavibao, and welcome to our Learn at Home Facebook Live. For the discussion today, the topic will be on living in a digital world using social media as an educational tool. Before we begin, take note of the following reminders. Make sure you are registered to the webinar to have your e-certificate of participation. Visit certificate.vibalgroup.com to generate your proof of attendance. Share the video using hashtag LearnAs1PH as our official hashtag to all our Vibal webinars. Experience learning ka-Vibal! And now, to proceed with our webinar this evening, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our distinguished speaker today. Mr. Joram Kim Corcuera is a graduate of Bachelor and Secondary Education, major in English at the Philippine Normal University in 2011. He obtained his Master of Arts major in Communication degree at the Ateneo de Manila University. Currently, he is taking his degree of Doctor of Philosophy, major in English Language Studies at the University of Santo Tomas. He has been a teacher for almost a decade and has already taught English, literature, public speaking, and research classes. He also represented the Philippines in various international research conferences about education and communication. He has been delivering CPD training sessions and teacher seminars handling a number of student publications in various schools and universities, including San Beda University and University of Santo Tomas. At present, he is working as a faculty member at the University of Santo Tomas Junior High School, where he teaches communication arts and journalism courses. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome Mr.
No one can deny that all of us, regardless if we are digital natives or if we are digital immigrants, have been using various social media platforms for communication purposes and even for entertainment. But little did we know that these applications can also be used to help us improve and enhance our daily learning episodes, specifically the way we teach, the way we handle our students. And tonight, this is going to be our focus, discovering and exploring the different roles of social media in the field of education. Everyone, it's year 2022. It is very nice to have all of you again virtually. Okay. Everyone, allow me to welcome you to our session titled Living in the Digital World Using Social Media as an Educational Tool. I am Mr. Joram Kim Corcuera, and I will be serving as a resource speaker for tonight's episode of Learn at Home. Of course, just like how we began the seminars during the year 2021 and the previous years, no, allow me also, of course, to show to you our quote of the session. So tonight's quote comes from Dave Willis. According to him, do not use social media to impress people. Use it to impact people. While it is true that social media is mostly used by people to gain confidence, yeah, to impress people, we should also be aware that we can use it to impact people. We can use it to educate, to disseminate information, especially right now that we are in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Unfortunately, yeah, we have welcomed another year. It's already year 2022, but unfortunately, the pandemic seems to be mga talagang no end pa po, no? We're not seeing an end anytime soon. In fact, the Philippines right now is having another surge because of the Omicron variant, and we really have to take note of that. But this specific pandemic, we all know as educators, this should not hinder us, no, from teaching and from helping our students become the best versions of themselves. And that is why we're actually implementing distance learning. Right? So say distance learning again, this is a term that refers to classes that can be taken without having to attend school, college, or university in person. Is any form of online learning in which the student is not physically present during the class. In other words, there's a physical separation between the teacher and the student during instruction. However, through the use of various technology, you're able to be connected, no? As if we're really in one specific classroom. Okay? Not to mention, we talk about distance learning, we use various products of technology. We use, of course, no, innovative products, no? Yung mga creations ng ating mga experts, no? And one, of course, of the things that we can use really as an educational tool would have to be the use of social media. Not to mention, our students nowadays, lahat yan sanay na sanay gumamit ng social media and gumamit ng technology. Why? Because our students, of course, are members of what we call the Generation Z. And Gen Z is known as the most digitally savvy generation in human history. They have undergone a digital transformation, smoothly incorporating technology into their daily lives. Through the advent of global pop culture, global brands, and a borderless virtual reality, they have become globally focused as well. Moreover, as the new technologies have emerged, they may also, or surely, no, they have been the first ones, no, baga part of the population who have adopted them and eventually become really, no, engrossed, no, talagang nahook talaga sila, of course, sa paggamit ng technology. Moreover, when you talk about Gen Zs, no, authenticity, diversity, open-mindedness, social responsibility, and sustainability, these are their core values. So being surrounded by the endless technical opportunities since their upbringing, okay, this generation definitely grew up using the internet, which eventually made social media a powerful marketing tool, and hopefully, no, sooner or later, a tool also that can influence the students, of course, to become a better version of themselves. Okay, so right now, pag sinabi natin Gen Z, lahat pa ng estudyante natin ngayon Gen Z. The answer, of course, is a big yes. Why? Because ito about Gen Z, ang birth years ito 1996 to present. Okay, so most likely, no, students natin from preschool up until college, Diba? Gen Zs yan. Siguro maliban yung nasa graduate school, no? Because there are really, of course, members of the other generations who are still studying, taking up their masters, taking up their PhD degrees, and so on and so forth. So it's also known as the generation that comes after the millennial generation. And it's expected to become the fastest growing generation in both the workplace and the marketplace. But the one thing that we can really highlight, no, among the members of this generation is that they're very tech savvy. They're really into using technology, specifically, of course, the use of social media. Right? So when you say social media, it refers to the interactive computer-mediated technologies that facilitate the creation or sharing of information, ideas, career interests, and other forms of expression via virtual communities and networks. So this includes, of course, no, Twitter, diba, the very famous Instagram, Facebook, no? Ngayon nga parang ang mga tao, diba, hindi na nila alam yung cellphone number ng isa't isa because they will only contact people through the use of Facebook and Messenger. We also have their Snapchat and many more. Furthermore, when they say social media, Kaplan and Heinlein defined it as a group of internet-based applications that allow the creation and exchange of messages and information to take place. According to Point 2012, social media encompasses all forms of digital technology that allow human beings to communicate and share information or content with each other using, of course, the internet. Okay? So in other words, no, if we're going to take a look at how social media is really being defined here, we can actually see, no, that even before the pandemic, social media has already played a vital role, no, in our lives. No? So, moreover, social media includes everything, okay? From blogs, wikis, podcasts, to Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Flickr, to websites, to various applications. Okay? And these social media platforms allow internet users to interact, to collaborate, to share, to create content about anything. Okay? So in fact, almost all the digital tools that humans, beings use, no, in their everyday work, study, and even social lives can be described, of course, as social media. Di ba ang mga kabataan ngayon, di ba sabi nga natin, ang biggest distraction nila sa pag-aaral ngayon would have to be the use of technology. Social media specifically can also serve as a distraction. Diba? Not to mention, in the Philippines, no, tayo lang naman, diba? Tayo lang naman ang defending champion, diba? In terms of the number of hours spent in using social media. For how many years, no? We rank first in the survey conducted by Hootsuite International and We Are Social. This is the data, no, in 2018. Philippines is ranked first in terms of the amount time spent on social media. And it's really interesting, no, to note that we Filipinos dedicate 3 hours and 57 minutes daily for social media. But look at the Japan, no? Sa Japan, kahit ang Japan kilalang kilala sa paggamit ng technology, Japanese only spend, no, 48 minutes of their time using the social media platforms. Kaya yung sinabi ko kanina, sa Japan, napakadaming nakikreate na invent the technology. Yet, they only allot 40 minutes, no, sa social media. That's in year 2018. Next, in year 2019, if you're going to take a look at it, okay, tumaas pa tayo, no? The amount of time that Filipino use in social media, rank 1 pa rin naman tayo, syempre, from 3 minutes to 3 minutes and 57 seconds. Tumaas ba tayo to 4 minutes and 12 seconds? While sa Japan, okay, from 48 minutes down, of course, to 36 minutes. And then in year 2020, syempre tayo pa din, no? Ang defending champion, di ba? Although, pag tinignan natin, medyo bumaba na tayo. 3 minutes and 53 hours and 53 minutes. Ang Japan naman, 45 minutes. So still, no? If we're going to take a look at it, rank 1 pa rin tayo, no? Very consistent. And the last one, year 2021, this is the most recent, okay? Lumalabas dito that Filipinos spent now 4 hours and 15 minutes, which is very understandable considering the new setup. Not only the new normal in the field of education, but even in work, no? Diba, aminin natin sa trabaho ngayon, talagang napakadami, no? Talaga nagmamigrate na sila online. So, I know a lot of people na twice a week, pupunta sila sa office, thrice a week, online na lang ang trabaho nila. And of course, sa klase, di ba, every day talaga online talaga tayo except for some schools, some degrees, no, na lalo na yung mga graduating sa college na pinayagan na mag-limited face-to-face. But looking at Japan, sila pa din ang nasa dulo with 51 minutes. Pag tinignan mo, sobrang malayong difference, no? Right? So this makes the Philippines the social media capital of the world. Di ba? Kaya nga, sabi nga nila, di ba? If that is our strength, then we have to maximize it. Right? So, pag sinabi natin social media, gaya nung sinabi ko kanina sa introduction, social media and education, can we marry these two concepts, no? Considering, of course, no, that right now the use of social media is prevalent and the constant flow of communication made possible by the internet has created a more complex environment, and definitely, no, this things resulted to a change in the field of education. With this, we can actually see, no, how we can connect these two specific concepts. Because right now, educational institutions are starting to use social media to facilitate learning and, of course, to acquire information. In fact, according to Coffin, for year in 2015, an increasing number of learners now prefer to have instructors who use social media as a learning tool. Some of the basic features of social media also have the potential to create a huge impact on the development of the teaching and learning process as it improves productivity of the learners. Diba? No wonder educational institutions nowadays are already adapting these innovations to really develop, to mold, to enhance the quality of education that it offers, and of course to improve the student life. So now the question is, how are you using social media for your school? No, definitely. Again, it can be used for learning. It can also be used for branding. No, social media in the Philippines, I think, no, if you're going to ask me, top of mind, ang sasagot ko dyan, branding and marketing. Di ba talagang, even right now, no, sa upcoming elections, talagang napakalaki ng role ng social media. Right? So, a lot of people na kilala ko, talagang they're able to decide sinong iboboto nila because of the use of social media. Right? But then again, we have to be very critical, no? Because misinformation, disinformation, talagang ito ang mga kalaban natin pag ginagamit natin ng social media. We can also use this one, of course, for outreach purposes, for recruitment, diba? For professional development, for so modeling, of course, no, to the students. In other words, napakadaming gamit, no, ng social media. But right now, let us focus on how we can use it as an educational tool. So it is true that social media cannot replace the teachers in the classrooms, but it still creates multiple dimensions and conversations and engagement between students and their teachers, their professors, as it allows learning to take place anytime, anywhere. So through various social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, the engagement between the students and their formators, of course, can always be sustained. For it creates a virtual community that allow learning and experiences to transcend, no, okay, the physical walls of a classroom, which means, of course, no, that learning can take place anytime, anywhere. Moreover, social media was also found, no, that it was also found that social media can also support the teaching and learning process in novel ways by serving as a platform that enhances student engagement, collaboration, and self-directed learning. Indeed, without a doubt, I can actually say that the interest of the students increases, okay, when social media is being utilized as a platform for discussion. However, there are a lot of repercussions. So, kailangan maingat tayo. Yung privacy, may Data Privacy Act tayong tinatawag. Of course, no, yung limits din, kailangan alam natin when and when not, of course, no, to use social media. Specifically, how to use social media. Okay? Because we'll talk about social media. Siyempre, it's the easiest way, no, for us really to contact our students, and likewise for the students to contact us, no, for the students to converse, to talk to their classmates concerning their academic and co-curricular activities. Diba? Sabi nga nila, kapag sa email mo sinend, hindi naman do urgent na reply. Pero pag sa social media mo message, ang bilis mag-reply ng mga tao. I think that's really the nature, no, of the Filipinos, considering that we are really the social media capital of the world. Okay? So, Moreover, social media has also proven its credibility as a tool where students, together with their teachers, can interact with one another. And of course, no, as a source of information that can be used as a reference in the field of education. With all these things having said, no, we can actually really conclude that the popularity of social media, the emergence of social media, can really be advantageous for students and their formators, for their teachers, no, if used responsibly. Okay, there is of course no, kailangan di natin makalimutan yun if used responsibly. Kasi kapag hindi naman natin nagamit the right way ang social media, then definitely it would result to having more problems no than actually solving some. Okay? So now let us try to deepen our understanding into in terms of how we can use social media as an educational tool. One, of course, no, we have here for collaboration and for communication. So the most significant advantage rather of social media is definitely improved communication. Lalong-lalo na po ngayong pandemic no, that we cannot really go out no to just talk to people na hindi natin kasama. Right? So students, teachers, no, okay, both of them can use social media to communicate with anyone at any time they like, no. They can access this, of course, through their computers, through their mobile phones, through their laptops, okay. They can exchange questions, they can make calls, video conversations. They can also, of course, no, use applications to edit things together, okay, and then the like. Number two, ito po ako, personally, nagagamit ko to no? Parental involvement. In my case, I have a group chat, nandun lahat ng parents, no? I usually I use it for information dissemination. And the parents also contact me, no? Not only through my email, lalo na pag emergency purposes, talagang magme-message sila sa messenger ko. I allow that. But of course, no, they know when and when not to send messages and what messages would I allow no na i-message sa akin of course through the use of social media. Why? Because admit it or not, social media allows parents to stay involved in their child's education. No, so parents can stay up to know the related activities, no, school-related activities, the projects, the events, di ba? If you have student publications, you can actually send the articles, for example, posted online, the online publications sa mga GC, no? Para at least the parents would also be aware, right? And eventually, if the parents see the need to communicate, to have a meeting, you can actually set meetings through the use of Zoom or other secured online platforms, no, used by the institution. It, of course, to really talk about how the child is actually developing, how the students are actually improving, and then the like. So, in other words, no, we can use social media to create a social network, no, for parents, allowing them, of course, to really be updated with everything that they need to know, of course, for their children. Okay? So, put in mind, no, that social media, it was proven already, no, that social media has a favorable impact on student achievement because through here, parents can be more hands-on. Parents can provide better informed academic support, of course, at home. Third, improve literacy, communication, and reading capabilities. So students are frequently tired with reading and writing. However, okay, the internet and social media give a wealth of online materials that students are more likely to read, especially if this beads of information incorporate eye-catching animations because this is what attracts Generation Z. No? So, in fact, online messages, comments, online articles, online books, no? Okay? Most of the time, this is what the students actually read. And these online activities definitely help a child's overall learning. And it allows children to develop a stronger reading habits, which of course no, results in a significant boost, improvement, of course, in their writing abilities. Lastly, of course, no, ito, syempre, very timely, no, distance learning opportunities. Okay? So another significant advantage of social media, specifically in the field of education, is that it allows, no, distance learning, of course, to occur. So many poor individuals, the unfortunate ones, no, they're really unable to, sabi nga nila, hindi raw sila natututo ngayong online, di ba? Because they don't really feel the guidance of their teachers, sabi ng ibang estudyante. But through the use of social media, the teachers can communicate with the students. The students can communicate with the teachers, allowing them really to improve, no, not only the process of communication, but also the daily learning episodes, no. So when students feel that they're really guided, when students feel that they're not alone, the tendency is that they would actually feel better. Not to mention, no, there are a lot of applications that we can also use, like Zoom, Google Meet, no, right? So of course, to really promote remote education in different countries, actually sa buong mundo, no? Kahit pa nasa Asia ka, estudyante mo nasa Africa, nasa US, nasa Australia, no, you can still meet, of course, no, and of course, talk things together. Right? So, right now, okay, so allow me to share with you, okay, my thesis when I was still a student, no, back then at the Ateneo. This was for my master's degree. So, it was titled Exploring Social Media as a Communication Tool for Student Athletes and their formators. So, in my study, I actually had three sets of respondents. So, from three different schools. These are the themes that I actually found, no? Right, so number one, in school number one, I discovered that social media influences public opinion and reinforce human beliefs. Indeed, social media contains a lot of posts, videos, and articles that can influence the behavior of student athletes. And these are being shared, okay, of social media users who suffer from its contagious effect, be it positive or not. Right? So, which really, no, dapat aware tayo dito, no? Na talagang whatever the students see online, the tendency is that sometimes, no, talagang na-adapt talaga nila yon. So we really have, of course, to teach them how to become critical and analytical thinkers. Second, social media reveals one's personality and, of course, character. Because it is inevitable, no, not for the students to encounter disturbing posts that would really test, no, how they're going to react. Third, social media provides feedback and referrals that empower students, of course, and their formators or teachers specifically. So social media connects students, no, to their teachers, to a bigger world. It allows them, of course, to receive, no, an evaluation of their performance. Okay, they would be able to see different write-ups, no, and eventually, no, would really allow them, of course, to have a bit of introspection. Okay? For school number two, okay, I found there that social media is a tool to strengthen and support one's spirituality. So it can also be a way to highlight the importance of prayer. Di ba yung simpleng pag-send ng inspirational quotes, biblical citations, this is something common, no? So mahalaga pala yan. Kaya ako, what I do right now, whenever I'm going to begin my class, sa morning session ko, sa HRO period ko, sa homeroom class ko, I would always begin with the quote of the day. Tapos yung mga quote of the day, mga motivational quotes yun. Ay highlighting importance of prayer, importance of taking care of yourself, and then the like. Okay, second, social media facilitates sharing of ideas, thoughts, and information by creating a virtual community of learning. So through social media, we become really updated, no? Hindi tayo nahuhuli kasi in one click talagang nandun na lahat ng balita. And of course, social media supports introspection and personal contemplation. So it allows us to reflect, no, based on what we see. Sometimes we see write-ups not really about us, but write-ups na makakakonect tayo. So we still, of course, are able to reflect and eventually, hopefully, correct our mistakes, no, and make better decisions. And then for school number three, I discovered there that social media is a tool for broadcast media designed to reach a wide audience through mass communication. Right now, no, ito yung, I think, pinaka-effective na way to communicate with one another. Okay? For example, may class suspension. Pupost lang sa social media, kakalat yan, malalaman ng lahat in less than 30 minutes or even 10 minutes siguro, alam na ng lahat yan, no? Mag-open ka na ng social media, you can click the share button, it will be forwarded in the GC, and then the like. Okay? So, ganun din, of course, sa mga materials, instructional materials, and then the like. Okay? But we have to be careful, no, in sharing instructional materials through social media because these platforms may not really be the most ideal, no, for us really to send these materials kasi may tinatawag tayong intellectual property right, data privacy act, and then the like. So even in the submission of the requirements, no, we have to really reflect if this requirement should really be uploaded in social media because there are specific laws no that we have to take a look at too. Na bago natin ipapost tong mga to. Not unless of course no if this are really necessary. Kunwari for example, nursing students yung hawak mo tapos pinagawa mo sila ng infographics informing people about COVID. So siguro yun no. Yung part na yun, you can ask them of course to post online but of course you really need to ask consent, the approval no. Next, social media is a relationship building tool. Right? So indeed, mahalagang-mahalaga to, no? Right now, one of the complaints of the students, kaya gusto nila mag face-to-face, feeling daw nila mag-isa sila, wala silang kasama. But then again, if they're connected, no, they would really feel na, okay, even if we're having distance learning, we're never alone in our battles. Okay? And lastly, social media provides intervention that help the formators or the teachers, no, in managing the behavioral issues of their students. Social media is being used as an emotional outlet. So we really see no students rant, we see students post, no. Sometimes this is where we really see who they really are. But of course, let us not use these things no to harm them. Instead, let us use these things to better understand who they are and of course no, find and discover a better approach no kung paano natin sila haharapin at kakausapin. So what are the major themes in my study? Very simple lang po. Number one, social media improves the emotional connection between the students and their teachers. Okay? So the relationship, if there's rapport, there's connection, then better learning episodes will be coming. Okay? Number two, social media is not just a tool for language, for knowledge construction and skill acquisition, but also for moral formation, which is very important. All teachers, no, we're not just English, math, science teachers. We're also values teachers. And it's very important for us to inculcate values, no, and allow our students to establish a strong character, no, inculcated with positive morals and virtues. And we can do this as well through the use of social media. Number three, it starts an emotional outlet of the students and even the teachers, no, so allowing us to better understand our students, to have a better approach, lalo na kunyari, ang galing-galing na estudyante ito, tapos pagdating sa linggong to, lagi siyang wala, no? Lagi siyang lost sa klase. Yun pala, suffering from family problems, family issues, and the like. So, consult natin, no? We can relay them, we can refer them, of course, to the guidance counselors at our schools, no? Para at least mas ma-manage sila and hopefully ma-address yung problema. And lastly, social media is an information distribution channel for the students and, of course, the teachers. Just like what I mentioned earlier, broadcast tool no for information dissemination. So now, allow me to share to you some also of the advantages of using social media, of course, in the field of education. So these are the findings of Fanak Fahimi in 2018. So number one, okay, of course, so it is limitless, affordable, efficient, and it provides increased access no to everyone. But specifically, ano nga ba yung function ng social media? Okay? Number one, advantages specifically. Number one, it is not expensive. So, in fact, no, the majority of social media networks and applications, kung hindi yan libre, sobrang mura lang. Right? Ang Facebook, ang Twitter, ang Instagram, libre lahat yan, no? Right? So, not unless gagamit ka ng special features like yung Facebook ads, or other stuff, so but definitely very affordable. Number two, it is more efficient. In fact, teachers can use a lot of strategies, no, a variety of presenting approaches, which includes audio recording, video clips, interactive Q&A sessions, no. So definitely through the use of these things, the students will be able to prepare, no, and to be able to solve challenges, okay, that will be given, of course, to them. Number three, it enables users to access unlimited resources. So the best retrievable and searchable archives and libraries are definitely social networks. So unlike printed or hard copies no, ng mga papel, PowerPoint presentations, okay, almost every post, okay, of course, no, sa social media, preserved indefinitely. Not unless, of course, you will be deleting it. Number four, serving academic social media sites foster the development of more friendly interactions. Definitely, online programs can help instructors, teachers to feel more connected to the students who are definitely younger than them. So many students are averse to asking questions in a classroom setting. However, they do become increasingly interactive, of course, to the use of social media. Number five, it facilitates prompt and reliable sources. So additionally, no, there are also vote robots, okay, that we can actually utilize in using social media as an educational tool. We can conduct polls, evaluations, even audits and assessments. No? So while the outcome of those studies are more credible and accepted because they are displayed directly to the participant, it is also a must no, that we become very careful sa pag-create ng mga to kasi alam naman natin no that right now no there are cases of cheating, plagiarism, and then the like. Number six, it is not necessary to go thousands, di ba, of kilometers, of course, for education. So definitely, alam na natin yan, no? Lalo sa Pilipinas, napaka-traffic. So technically, no, nag-distance learning tayo talaga, na-lessen talaga yung traffic. Number seven, it enables users to access unlimited, okay, resources. Just like what I told you, almost everything already right now is uploaded in social media. Okay? And it's really a matter na lang sa atin kung paano natin gagamitin yun. And lastly, it's a decent tool, of course, for assignments. So faculty members and teachers can always post assignments online. Okay? Of course, through the use of the learning management systems of the school. And then we can remind them as well, of course, through the use of social media. Lalo na yung mga wala talagang LMS na ginagamit, no? So it's really a matter of enhancing the communication and using it, maximizing it, of course, no, on how you can improve no your daily learning sessions. Okay, but at the same time, there are also disadvantages. Number one, insufficient information technology knowledge for older generation facilities, of course, could be a challenge. Diba? So some teachers, especially the digital immigrants, this social media platforms may make them uneasy, no? Feel at ease, no? Mahirapan sila, ma-challenge sila sa paggamit nitong cyberspace, specifically for educational purposes. Number two, verification by the subscribers is essential when using a public source. It's very important, no? Gaya nung sinabi ko kanina, we're not just battling no pandemic right now, but we're also dealing with the infodemic. And the primary disadvantage of using social media actually is that no, there are a lot of misinformation, disinformation, fake news, and false information online. So it's really something that we have to be careful. No? Dapat ang mga estudyante natin maging maingat din doon. Internet crash or absence of internet access in some areas should not be underestimated. This is already expected. No? In fact, di ba sa mga studies, ang Pilipinas nasa bandang baba tayo no, in terms of the most reliable internet connection. But hopefully we'll be able to solve them. No? And number four, establishing trust can take time and effort. Diba? So, syempre, it would last longer, no? Kumbaga, for us really, of course, to establish trust, no? And effort, mas mahaba yung proseso. Kasi of course, no, you're only using social media. Hindi iba yung feeling ng kaharap mo siya. And most importantly, I'd like to highlight this one, no? Whatever platform you've made, okay, whatever platform you've been using at home, okay, one thing is certain. Plenty of people take social media safety less seriously than they should. They post, they share, they retweet without considering their privacy, resulting to various issues concerning one's safety and security. And this is something that we should always remember. Okay? So transparency may be the most disruptive and far-reaching innovation to come out of social media. We should know what to post, what not to post. And we should know when to post and when not, of course, to post. Because if we do not know these things, then definitely we're not going to be able to maximize social media as an educational tool. Instead, we're using social media as a tool for us to deal with more problems and issues. So I started the session with a quote. Allow me also, of course, to end it with a quote as well. So we do not have a choice on whether we do social media. The question is how well we do it. Right now that we're living in a digital world, it's not really a choice. It's not really an option. No? But of course, it's really a must for us to really ensure that we're using it the right way. Because again, social media is going to be a very powerful tool, a very powerful educational tool if we only use it, of course, the right way. And so on that note, allow me to end the session. So thank you so much. If you have questions, you can always email me at jcorcuera@rebalgroup.com. I hope marami po tayo natutunan ngayong session na to. Sana po, starting today, no, sana magamit natin ang social media, not only for communication, not only for entertainment, but even, of course, for improving the way, of course, we teach and the way we offer quality education. Thank you so much and stay safe po.
There we have it. In behalf of Vibal Group Incorporated, I would like to thank our speaker for today for this very eye-opening and insightful learning session. It is an honor to have you with us today, sir. And to all our Vibal viewers, all thanks to you for your continuous patronage to all our daily learning session. Don't forget to register to get your e-certificate of participation. The link is in the caption of this webinar. We also encourage you to subscribe and watch on our official Vival Facebook and YouTube channel. Muli maraming salamat at magandang araw sa ating lahat.